Goodbye 2021. The least bad year of the last 2 years, but let's send it off to the eternal dumpster fire in the sky with some positive vibes. Let's forget about encroaching doom from all sides for just a few minutes and think about motorcycles, that warm fuzzy place we all retreat to activate monkey brain and go fast, replacing feelies with wheelies since forever, or 1910, or whenever the first bike came out. I don't know, Google it. Anyways, today we're going to take a look at 10 of the most anticipated motorcycles for 2022. To keep things a little bit different today, we're not just going to be looking at some of the bikes we covered in our EICMA recaps, unless we're just that excited about them. Some of these you might recognize from events we've done, and there are other returning faces that we thought went the way of Half-Life 3. Let's jump right in with the potentially exciting news depending on how much you've sipped HD Kool-Aid. Spite's on his second glass and he can barely contain himself. On January 26th, they've got a world premiere event called Further Faster. On their website, they've got a picture of a tank shaped suspiciously like a normal Sportster, which can do neither one of those things. If you let me put my speculation paperboy hat and monocle on, I would like to conjure a guess as to what we're going to see. First of all, we're going to see a classically styled Sportster based on the Sportster S platform. Why? Because they've actually already teased it. They showed it in the background at one of their trailers, so we're probably going to see it. My guess is that covers the faster part of the name, and since the new Sportster doesn't have much in the way of range, my second theory is that we're going to see a slightly more stripped back sport touring version of the Pan America. One that's not set up with the crazy ride height devices and all the farkles, and crucially not $20,000 before taxes and fees. While two derivatives of models we've already seen might not sound exciting, at least it's not another slow air-cooled land barge for dentists. And if they can get the Sportster around 11 grand and the sport touring bike around 15, then maybe we'll see them ship more bikes and continue to bring back the segment. I'll still be waiting for the Bronx, but at this point, I'm not going to hold my breath. Seriously, I'd be dead as a disco at this point. Kind of like the Turbo Busa. No, I just made myself sad. Next up, we've got the Kawasaki Z900 SE. There's also a Z900 RS SE, which is a retro-styled version of their middleweight naked bike, and not as I first thought, a collection of random letters from some spilled alphabet soup. It's based on the same old 114 horsepower and 67 foot-pounds of Torgorino's 948cc inline 4, and yes, so those are the real-world numbers, Z900 simps, don't at me. I've yet to ride one, but I can't swing a stick in the YouTube comments without someone telling me it's the best bike ever. Well, now that's demonstrably not true since they have the SE version. The Z900 SE is basically an MT09 SP, but since Yamaha already coined SP, Cowie thought of something completely different by only copying one letter. Don't worry, Cowie, I don't think anyone will notice that you jacked 50% of Yamaha's special model designation. It's okay. Anyways, the SE is packing a fully adjustable front fork, Öhlins rear shock, because Cowie couldn't afford a whole set, I guess, Brembo M4 calipers, and topping it off with the Nissan Radial Master Cylinder. Wait, what? Seriously? You couldn't give us a Brembo Master Cylinder? Come on, even the R7 has one. Oh well, at least the SE comes in at $10,699, making those Cowie boys always the value prop that they love. Listen, are you an upset Kawasaki boy who wants me to stop hating on Kawasaki even though I don't hate Kawasaki? Look, the ZH2 was literally my favorite bike of 2021. The only problem is Kawasaki insists on making the same plain Jane 650s. But if your tender little fifis got hurt by me saying the SE isn't my #1 most anticipated bike of the year, you can write me a 3,500-word dissertation on the merits of your motorcycle down in the Discord. That's right, it's your one-stop shop for all your Kawasaki boys support group needs. It's not just Cowie boys either. We've got HD pirates, Hayabusa men, and all kinds of squid hanging out and talking bikes. The best part is you'll get entered to win some of our giveaway motorcycles at the same time. Click the link down below and check it out because God knows I'm not reading that massive comment you're typing right now. But if you're on the Discord, I kind of have to read it. So if you really want me to read something, the Discord's the best way to do it. Now, while we're talking special models, how about something really cool? The MT10 SP. That's right, for the first time ever, the MT10 SP is going to be available stateside. Yamaha is taking a serious swing at the other Hypernakeds with their R1-derived frame and engine, paired with comfy ergos and now Öhlins semi-active suspension. They've also updated the IMU to more closely match the level of rider aids that you'll find on the R1. This is a big deal because they've managed to squeeze all that into the base model for $13,999, with the SP's Öhlins driving the price to $16,899. Do you need Öhlins on the MT10? No, not really. I mean, the bike handled like it was on rails since it's already literally the same frame and swing arm off the R1, but it's nice to have the suspension set itself up for the number of cheeseburgers you've eaten since your last ride. You'll also get some R1M inspired graphics and accents on the SP, which will help it make it feel a little bit more premium, but still no Brembos, which is odd. Oh, and the slightly revised the face to look a little bit more like an angry Bionicle, just in case the image wasn't clear enough before. Next up is a weird one, and while it is higher up on the list than some of the other bikes, it's because of what it represents, not because I would rather have it over an MT-10 SP. It's the Honda Navi. The Navi is a teensy tiny little mini bike with a 109cc thumper and a CVT transmission. It's shaped like a Grom with a lot of motorcycle looking features, but it'll ride like a twist and go step through scooter. It's even got a little waterproof compartment by your feet which can hold some sandwiches, your phone, personal massager, and maybe your stuffed teddy bear too. Is it gonna be fast? No. Can it do highway speeds? No. Will it be fun? Of course. The best part is that the Navi is going to sell for $1,807, making it the most affordable motorcycle-shaped object you can spend money on and put a license plate on, brand new. In a world where Cake has the sheer temerity to charge $14,000 for an e-bike with less range and the same quality hardware, the Navi is a breath of fresh air. It's not a good learning tool, but as a bop-around city bike that's someone's first foray into the wonderful world of two wheels, it's basically perfect. But that's enough of these bikes from milquetoast manufacturers. I need some bikes that are baptized in marinara and smell faintly of the BO of the guy that screwed it all together. Something with character, he says, making Italian hand gestures. How about the Touareg 660 from Aprilia, the one company that everyone complains about so much that they managed to make Ducati look reliable. Look guys, the RS660's issues were limited to a small run, and when's the last time you heard of an RSV4 exploding? Even Alicia Sparger hasn't blown up his motor in GP, but then again, he's not out there getting podiums, so he's probably not riding full gas. Alicia, just go faster, my dude. That's the answer. It's always the answer. I rode the Touareg back in November, and it's a pretty sweet bike. It's splitting the difference between KTM's Adventure 890R with its spaceship text and hard-nosed dirt bike feel, and Yamaha's Tenere 700 with its playful engine, taint-smashing seat, and tech from the 1940s. I made a whole video about this, so if you want the full rundown, check that out, and I've ridden the bike in Sardinia. Suffice it to say, I'm very excited about this motorcycle. Almost as excited as I am about the Ducati Desert X. What can I say? It's basically the sled crossed with a Tenere. It's got a test to shred, a 937cc V-twin, because this is America, goddammit. There ain't no L-twins in this part of the world. It's putting down 110 horsepower. It has full 2118 rims, rally scorpions, and a set of on and off-road tech to get the bike there and back. And look at it. It looks so damn cool. This is the coolest looking bike. The promos for all this stuff looked amazing. All the shots they got in the desert. I kind of wanted to buy one, I'm not gonna lie, even though I don't really even like adventure bikes that much. Pricing and availability are still TBD, but when it comes to Ducatis, if you have to ask, you probably can't afford it. I'll be interested to see how this stacks up against something like the Africa Twin, and we'll have to wait and see if people actually take them off-road or not. But if anyone at Ducati is listening, I'm sorry about what I said about the Multistrada. Can you please send me one of these now? We have 1 million subscribers. I'm sure they'd love to see the Ducati X. Probably not. Number 4 today goes to our third and final adventure bike, the Husqvarna Nordon 901. Are you sick of ADV bike yet? No, how about another one? You get an ADV bike, and you get an ADV bike. Everybody gets an ADV bike. Honestly, guys, they're taken over because they're motorcycling's final form. Comfortable, built to handle on and off-road, and with enough power and tech to keep vets entertained and blow the skirt up on any noob. Are they as fancy looking as sport bikes? Nope. But while you might be taking up your sword and shield to defend the honor of your stunted out R6, just know that there are ADV dads out there that can put you to shame. I know because everyone from Yammie Noob was completely owned by an old guy who never stood up on his bike off-road when we went to Utah. Their bikes of choice are ADV. The Nordon is basically an 890R but blue. A few things change here and there, specifically the style features of the bike going for more a rally raid look, but it's got all the bark and bite out of the 890cc P-twin doing 105 horsepower. It's the same tech, long travel suspension, 2118 rims. It's a little cheaper than the Adventure R, starting at $13,999 instead of $14,599, but at that price, just pick the one that makes you look happy. But enough about dad bikes. I need something fast to round out the list here. I gotta get the taste out of my mouth. Boom! Buell Hammerhead 1190. It's finally happening, people. After being declared legally dead and then sent off to some wizard somewhere, probably Shade Tree, to be resurrected, the Hammerhead is officially in production as of November. The Hammerhead is said to be putting down 185 horsepower and have true superbike ergos and handling chops. This is exciting because it's mostly America's first bite at the superbike cherry in over a decade, and it's been about that long since the last new superbike was announced, if not longer. The only thing that's a little concerning is that it's a superbike with a single disc brake up front and in traditional Buell style is mounted on the rim, so it's like 450 millimeters. People say it brakes fine, and I'm sure it does. It still looks weird. We'll see how the Hammerhead lands, but if anyone from Buell is watching, I'll send it around a track. Just hit me up. Sticking with Go Fast V-twins, my next most anticipated bike is the Ducati Street Fighter V2. I guess you can lump in the Multi V2 in here as well if you want, but for my money, Street Fighter all day. We recently rode the V4S Street Fighter, and that was a hell of a bike. The V2 is only making 153 horsepower and 75 foot-pounds of torque instead of 208 and 90, but it's got a much more attainable $16,995 price tag. As a side note, we rode the Panigale V2 around as part of our expert bike giveaway. I took it on track, had tons of fun, and it is plenty fast enough. There are other ways to earn your dad's love than by buying the most fastest naked bike you can, like buying the biggest pickup truck you can. The Ford F550 Mega Duty lifted with a pair of truck nuts on the hitch and a Punisher skull in the rear window. That'll show 'em. The Street Fighter V2 is for someone who's secure enough in their masculinity to not run out and buy the most overpowered naked bike money can buy. You want something fun and torquey that'll still obliterate just about anything in a straight line, and you want to be able to afford rent this month, then the V2 is for you. Just maybe start a separate savings account for the Desmo service. Last up on our most anticipated bike of the year is the Aprilia Tuono 660 Factory. What more can I say about this bike? It's light, it's fast, it's flashy, it's got all the check, and it's relatively cheap. If you're out there looking to upgrade from your beginner bike to something with a bit more go juice, just buy this. The Factory has 5 more horsepower, fully adjustable suspension, and a lithium-ion battery from the factory. It's a sporty naked bike that'll hang with just about anything on 2 wheels around a corner. What are you waiting for? Go buy one. Aprilia, where is my check? Fact. After passing a kidney stone in 2006, William Shatner sold it for $25,000 to an online casino. The casino wanted the ensuing publicity. Shatner donated the money to Habitat for Humanity. Goodbye. Keep watching Yammie Noob. Keep watching Yammie Noob. Keep watching Yammie Noob. Keep watching Yammie Noob. Keep watching Yammie Noob.